11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Ferrara won it!
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
And thanks to those joining me live and those who will be joining us here on the archive. Listening on the archive, hit the like button, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Share this video on your social media platforms. Much appreciated. If you share it on like X, just make sure you tag me. That way I can retweet it, all that good stuff. I appreciate all the support. Anthony Sanchez in the chat. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone watching here on YouTube on these boxing and those watching on X, on Calix. Boxing 2. Shout out to you guys, all that good stuff. Make sure you hit the like button. As I said, who's down with HCP? Everybody, right? Who's down with HCP? Yeah, you know me. Let's check it out, man. A lot to talk about, so much to touch on, so much to dive into. So let's get it started, right? A couple of things. So first, let's talk about this last weekend, right? I just want to make sure, mention a couple of things. Shout out to Tiara Brown, the Dark Man. She's been on the podcast before. Look forward to getting her back. And it's a matter of scheduling and all that good stuff. But she defeated Skye Nicholson out there in Australia, Sydney, right? And I think... the fight was what it was. I mean, it wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you. That's Skye Nicholson's fault. Skye Nicholson has a very negative style. I'm not even saying that to bash her, by the way. A lot of fighters have negative styles, and that's how they win, right? But all the holding and all the, avoiding of engagement was all done by Skye, right? And by design. She's trying to make the fight as ugly as possible. She's trying to make the fight as boring as possible. She's trying to nullify and neutralize her opponent. And but the whole, moving, slipping to the side thing, and she's shooting the straight left and her right hook and punching, one punch at a time and 5 punches around. It just wasn't going to cut it. And when that wasn't cutting it, you try to nullify and neutralize by holding. Tiara Brown had none of it, and that's that. I mean, so anybody out there that didn't like the fight, right? Said, oh man, I don't know, man, that was a sloppy fight. Wasn't a fan of the fight. Well, that's Skye Nicholson's fault. As far as that's her fault. Right? If you want to blame anybody, right? You guys blamed her for a boring fight, so she was dominating and winning, and now you don't want to blame her for the fights being boring, right? So it is what it is. Like, for better or for worse, even when she's at her best, she's boring. So why would she be boring when she loses, right? So it is what it is, right? And I'm hearing a lot of theoretical things that make sense and what Skye needs to do to win, but just keep in mind, and I heard in the podcast, shout out to Women Crushing the Wednesday with Christine, all them. And Tiara Brown said this, and I suspected this when I was watching the fight. Tiara didn't even want to retaliate much when Skye was initiating the holding. Like, she didn't want to she was kind of waiting for the ref to break it up because she was in Australia. She didn't want to rough up Skye too much because then they might take a point from her or something like that. And as close as the fight was, that could have made a difference. Obviously, as you could see, it might have been a majority draw, or a split draw. That is, if they take a point or maybe Skye wins, and who knows, right? So it made all the difference in the world. So now in a rematch where she's a champion, she's going to have a little more say. It's not going to be that much of a last minute, hey, you want to take the fight or what? With the expectation she's going to take it down. Tiara Brown, all right, bet on herself, took what she called short end money, and it was not the best offer, but she was confident she could beat Skye. So she said, you know what? I'll go to Australia. I'll go fight her. Let's do it. They offered her this fight when she already had a fight lined up, by the way. She was already contracted to do another fight. Right, so she moves forward with that fight. And they're offering her this fight. And Skye Nicholson, remember, Skye Nicholson was out there tweeting and doing interviews saying, hey, we offered her the fight. And now she's quiet. Now she has nothing to say. You know what I mean? What, is she scared? Like, or whatever the hell she was saying, right? She's been calling me out for 2 years. Now she has nothing to say. Well, what? She had a fight. Tiara Brown had a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Right? That's what was happening there. But just in general, it's not so much a female thing or male thing. Fighters, willing to say, you know what? I feel I'm worth more than this, but let me go get that strap. Let me beat her, and then I'll get the money, in the second time around. And that's why I feel very confident, especially with the backing Skye has the match that the rematch will happen. There's going to have to be some adjustments done by Skye, in my opinion. If she wants to win, she didn't get the benefit of doubt in her own country of Australia the way she was fighting. So that's not going to work. She needs to make some adjustments, in the rematch. So what can she do? I'm hearing a lot of the right things. However, I don't know who you're talking about. That's not Skye Nicholson. Oh, she needs to stay in the pocket and dig into the body. Like I don't know what you're talking about. She needs to throw more combinations. Skye hasn't done that her whole life. Like now you want her to fight in a way she doesn't know how to fight, quite frankly. So what's going to happen if she stays in a pocket longer? What's going to happen if she puts punches together? What's going to happen if she initiates more, is a little more aggressive, right? You heard her say, I fought Tiara's fight more than my fight, right, in the post fight. Like she thinks she was being more aggressive. And now you guys are saying she has to be more aggressive or put punches together more. Right? Skye's best chance to win is doing what she already did, quite frankly. I'm just being honest. She doesn't have the power to hurt Tiara. She doesn't have the power to exchange with Tiara. She doesn't have the power to, risk taking chances or, in the pocket against Tiara Brown. She's going to have to keep fencing her way to an attempted victory the way I see it. I don't think she could beat Tiara Brown. Tiara Brown really good at staying in the pocket and countering the counterpuncher. And I'm telling you right now, she could do that all day. And Tiara Brown, who has probably the best stamina, and I know that's a hell of a statement, but in women's boxing, she does not get tired. She's not going to get tired. It's like I saw what I saw. Skye Nicholson was tired. And she was trying to kill the clock as much as possible with her feet and by holding. Let me just tell you something right now. There's a reason, right? I'm just telling you. There's a reason. I was telling y'all, place your bets on Tiara. Get that 6-1 underdog money. Tiara Brown, world champion in the amateurs, has win over Michaela Mayer, Jenny Fuchs, other current world champions, other great fighters today. And Tiara Brown just had a rough patch. That's it. Right? She didn't get the backing needed. A lot of female fighters in America don't get the backing because it's not a big deal in America, right? That's just the cold, hard truth. That's just the business side of it, right? And that's why she knew, I got to take this opportunity. I got to go to Australia and take whatever they offer to me because this may be the last chance. If she doesn't take that fight with Tiara, with Skye, if she says, you know what? I don't know if I'm worth more than that. What do you mean? I'm a world champion in the amateurs. Look at what I be. I deserve more than that. Offer me more money. Maybe Skye Nicholson goes another direction, unifies with somebody else, eventually moves up weight classes, and Tiara never gets the opportunity to fight Skye, and then they keep, she keeps not getting any, opportunity, and it is what it is. So anyway, with that said, shout out to Cambosus. Did this guy say Cambosus? That's Cambosus, bro. Cambosus always be going life and death with dudes, and then he turns around and beats a Teofimo Lopez. I don't know what that's about, but George Cambosus is the Vanilla Ice of boxing, right? He's going to be living off that hit forever. You know what I mean? He's been getting paydays off of that TON, and good for him. Like, you know what I mean? He's been ice, baby, to go. Like all over Australia, bro. Like, you know what I mean? He's been getting those checks. Lost to Haney, lost again. Gets annihilated by Lomachenko, and then the Matchroom gives him another payday, you know, to fight like some low-level dude, and then he goes life and death with him, and now they're gonna try to get him a fight with Hitchens. I mean, shout out to Cambosus, ice, baby. Shout out to Mr. T. I'm here for used car salesman, jet lag, Yeti bashing. Well, I am waiting for Calix to show up because you know we got a double team. We got to do it some tag team. You know what I mean? And let's get started. And by the way, thank you for the for the support, brother. I much appreciate it. Shout out to all the hardworking people out there that tune in, have the professions, truckers that listen in, you know, the office workers that put it on their speakers and tell me their coworkers were laughing at the dumb shit I said. Well, whatever it is, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to you and your profession.
You, there. What is your profession?
I'm a potter, sir.
And you, Acadian, what is your profession?
Sculptor, sir.
So whatever it is you do, shout out to you, right? So David Benavidez and Samson, this whole situation. It was about 2 years ago. All I did was ask a simple question, and it broke people's brains. The processors in their head stopped working. People acted like I was asking this very unfair question, right? Like they were going off, like I didn't know what I was like. It's just like how can you possibly ask such a question? Why is that even a concept? Like what are we doing here, right? It was simple question. Like all I did was ask, by the way, while we're talking about Benavidez, is Benavidez willing to go over to? Is he willing to go to the zone to fight Canelo? Like, what if Canelo resigns to the Matchroom? Like, well, what are we doing? Is he willing to go over there? Because I never see the PBC dudes like really do that. And Samson Lukowitz comes out and like, no, we're not willing to do that. So I had a problem with that in principle. And people didn't understand why I had an issue with what he said. Right? They were making it about other shit that had nothing to do with my point. Right? My point was like, what do you mean you're not willing? Like who are you to say you're not willing to cross the street here? Like what are we doing? Right? Oh, but Canelo's a free agent. Don't you know what free agent is, style? They're looking at me like this. I'm just like, why y'all look at me like that? Like, what's? Yes, I know what a free agent is. Yes, I understand that Canelo is free to go sign wherever he wants, but that doesn't mean he needs to go to PBC to get the Benavidez fight, right? Stop. Canelo's a free agent. Style. Why would you possibly ask something like that? Like, it's like, I just want to know, bro. That's it. I just want to know if he's want to go over there. So this is the reason I cared. The reason I gave a fuck. The only reason was because I don't want obstacles in making a fight. Right? If you're really trying to get Canelo in the ring, right? Like you're trying to tell people that you're chasing after Canelo. Look at what Tiara just did. And that's why I started with a Tiara Brown topic. Regardless of how you feel about Tiara Brown was calling out Skye Nicholson, right? So, Nicholson, I want to fight you. Nicholson, when are we going to do this, right? To the point that some people were even getting annoyed with Tiara. So when the offer came, when Matchroom called her bluff and said, okay, here, we'll offer you this. So what? She said, okay, I'll go to Matchroom. I'll go over to, the zone. I'll go to Australia. I'll do whatever it needs as long as I get my shot, right? But here, when you come to this side, now we're talking about Benavidez and Samson, they weren't willing to do anywhere near that, right? They're not willing to say, Like, why wouldn't the narrative be, yo, I just want Canelo Alvarez in the ring. I don't give a fuck where I need to fight that dude. Right? I don't give a shit if he tells me I gotta go fight him in the moon, bro. I don't care if he wants to fight me in New Zealand. I don't care if he wants to fight me in Bali. I don't give a shit if this dude wants to fight me in the middle of Antarctica or in Alcatraz, whatever it takes to get this motherfucker in the ring. They tried to make it seem like they were willing to make sacrifices, but when it really came down to it, they really weren't willing to make sacrifices. Or they weren't willing to really, make it very apparent that, hey, we're going to fight this dude no matter what. Samson was saying no, right? And then later, about 6-7 months later, Nestor Gibson, the boxing voice, asked David Benavidez, hey, David, it looks like this was when, you guys remember when it was rumored that Canelo was going to leave PBC after the Charlo fight, and Rick Glacier put out that they had no money to pay him. I don't know if you guys remember all that. So since that was in the rumor mill, Nestor Gibbs just brought it up. David, would you be willing to go over there? If he does end up going back to Matchroom or the Zone, would you be willing to go over there to fight him? And he said, fuck no. I'm loyal to Al Heyman, he said. That's what he said. Imagine if other fighters did that. If Tiara Brown came out and said, no, I'm loyal to my promoter. I'm not going to go to Matchroom and over there. Like what? What would you say? Well, what the fuck? What is she talking about? Does she want a title fight or not? That's what you would be rightfully saying. So why is the standard different with David Benavidez? Why would you say, no, I'm not willing to go over there to fight Canelo? If Canelo said, hey, yo, this is where I'm fighting, so you got to come over here, right? And there was a precedence for me making this argument. It wasn't just out of thin air, right? That was a Caleb Plant situation. Caleb Plant was offered $10 million to go to the Zone. They said no. Canelo wanted that IBF belt. He said, okay, well, let's see. Let's try to do a fight on PBC, and then they try to get him on a multi-fight deal, right? So and at the time, I had interviewed David Benavidez, and I had asked him, hey, David, would you, what do you think about Plant? What Plant is saying? Because at the time, Plant was saying that he had the leverage, that he had PBC behind him, and it's unfair that there's a rematch clause. I don't know if you guys remember all that. And David Benavidez was saying, yeah, that's why nobody likes Caleb Plant. Yeah, you see, that's a problem with Caleb Plant. This is a great offer, Caleb. Yeah, it's undisputed. Yeah, sure, you have a belt, but that's good money for you. Just be happy you're getting a fight is essentially what he said. But when it comes to him, the standard changes all of a sudden, even though he doesn't have a belt. Right? You see, that's what that was always about. And now, take Canelo Alvarez out of the equation. This is why you got to look at patterns of behavior, and you got to listen to red flags when you see them. Samson Lukowitz is a walking, talking red flag. That's why, right, the nickname is Red Flag. Bandera Roja, it is red flags everywhere. He told us in an interview with him, my promoter Samson, he came up with that nickname. The guy sees so many red flags, we're going to call you the Red Flag. Now, I like the nickname Bandera Roja, by the way, although they're going with El Monstro now, but my point is, red flags for days. Red flags for days. And shout out to Appletide, by the way. Been a while, brother. I hope everything's good. Daisy Sanchez in the chat. How's it going? And let me know what you guys think, by the way. A lot of you quiet in the chat. Let me know what you think. All right? Or you're just listening to me put a boxing glove emoji or something. So I know I'm not talking to myself, but I think, let's see. Calic should be on momentarily, I think. All right. So anyway, now Samson, let's take Canelo out of the equation. That's why you got to look at patterns of behavior and how dudes move, right? now I'm seeing interviews where he's saying he's not willing to go to Saudi. No, we're not going to go to Saudi. Saudi, no. We're not going to Saudi. We do event here, and like you're not willing to go to Saudi to fight either Biv or Benavidez. Like, what the fuck's the matter with you, bro? What do you mean you're not willing to go to Saudi? And don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying, rule everything else out and just be willing to just go to Saudi and that's it. That should be your only option. No, explore all your options. But if Saudi makes the most sense and the most money, then do Saudi. Why in the hell would you say no to Saudi? Why is that a hard no? What are we doing here? Right? And then you're getting your little PBC fanboyish, interviewers to frame the question in certain ways, right? Yeah, like that dude, the one that has his hair like that, right? Yeah. We're doing big pay-per-views here with PBC, and they're not doing much pay-per-view money over there in Saudi, so we're making more money in the U.S. here. But would you be willing to go to Saudi to do the fight? What are you doing? Like, what's with that framing of the question? It's like making it sound like PBC is just popping. Make it sound like PVC it's just like fucking just breaking bank with these pay-per-views. Like making it sound like doing 700,000 pay-per-views and shit. They're not doing that. They ain't doing none of that shit. Right? Let's bring Calix in because he's gonna defend the honor of Samson. What's going on, Cal?
Is that what I'm doing?
So I'm in the middle talking about Samson. You remember this, right? He said we're not willing to go to the zone and fight Canelo if that's what it took.
He didn't say that. I like Samson. He did.
And now I'm saying they're not willing to go to now with Canelo's out of the picture. We're not willing to go to Saudi, right? We're not willing to go to Saudi, and he said he's not going to buy that hat from Mr. Boxing Guru. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna do that.
Look at that. Look at that.
You want to plug it in?
Look at that. Shout out Mr. Boxing Guru. $40 made and delivered. I'm gonna tell you what, the stitching on this bad boy, the only thing that can rival the stitching on Mr. Boxing Guru, aka Sad Sack Sal's hat, is the MLB. That's the only people that can rival his stitching. And this is, some people say they can't be bought. I myself, I can be. So shout out to the Saudis. But no, in all seriousness, Samson Lukawicz, this guy, right? Like the unserious people in this guy, Samson. And it really is sad, D-Style, that that David doesn't have serious people around him, good people around him, because he really would be much further along with this career, because there is a lot there. He is an exciting fighter. He is a really good fighter. Fan-friendly style, should have a Mexican-American built-in base that isn't as big as it should be. And by the way, another guy, Sebastian Fundora, Samson Lukawicz fighter, right? And he's a LA fighter, LA-based, Hispanic. You should have a base there that he doesn't. They're fighting in Vegas in front of nobody. Like my guy Christian is taking pictures and sending to people, and there's nobody there for the main event. Sebastian Fundora. And now he's saying we're not willing to go to Saudi. I remember when you were asking people, ask them, be a journalist, ask them, are they willing to fight on the zone? And the answer is no. No. The answer, like, we waited 5 years.
It was a hard no. A hard no.
Yeah. And now it's going to be no, we're not going to go to Saudi. We're above that. We're Vegas based fighter. Look, let me tell you, Vegas is dying. Vegas is dying. The city is dying. Like it's not, fellas, it's not what it used to be. And Canelo's going to fight there one more time, at least through 2026, one more time. It's that city is dying. It's is
that why Vegas is price gouging? Is that
it's price gouging? I paid $18 for a smart water because I was parched. I was like really parched. I was like, I need it. I'm gonna have to pay $18 for it. I'm gonna have to.
Not even a Voss.
Like the muffin that I get from Starbucks and the coffee that I usually get for $8. They charge me $22 for it. $18 for a beer at T-Mobile, and the sight lines at T-Mobile are terrible. So I don't know. Vegas isn't that's a dead. It's what I've been saying, man. Fighters don't need to come over here if you don't have to come over here to please us. Do your thing. But as far as Samson goes, I don't know. Like, he's leading his fighters astray, and I don't understand why they keep going over there. Why? Get around some serious people. And Bivol Beterbiev, I think that fight will happen next, and I think that's the fight to happen. And in the meantime, they need to be angling to get that Saudi money and get over. Do you know? Did you see today Deontay Wilder is fighting in Wichita, Kansas on BLK Prime? Did you see that?
Yeah, it's in the title. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's back in Kansas, like it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, you know what I mean? He's, he's been in the Wizard since Zhang knocked him out. He's been a wizard in the Wizard. He's been in Oz, and he's trying to get back to Kansas, Scala.
No, but it's funny because
he's gonna click his heels 3 times.
I remember when I was doing those videos, and they were calling me all kind of names and it's like they were saying that Deontay Wilder is above fighting on Dead Zone. And they were laughing at Terrence Crawford for fighting on BLK Prime. Right. And now what happens? Deontay Wilder. And they were telling me, no, don't worry about it. Steven Espinoza told us Showtime's going to be around for decades. We're doing fine over here. And what happens? Showtime's gone. Amazon Prime isn't giving them any money to promote anything. So Deontay Wilder has to go over to the Saudis and fight on Dead Zone and get a bunch of money, and now he's on BLK Prime in Wichita, Kansas.
and they're keeping Espinosa. Is he like an advice? What does he do for BBC? I've heard he's advising them, like on what?
Advising them to do what? I don't know.
Like what? Like what? Like so a captain will sinks a ship, and then you rehire him on a new ship. Like
yep.
What? Apparently,
to
advise the other captain, like what it makes no sense, right?
Yeah. So the thing though is these style in this thing, in this Benavidez orbit, and to me, if he fights the best competition available to him and is fun, I'll be a fan. I don't have anything personally against him. I just don't think he has good people around him. Competent people around him. Number one. Number two, if you look at this, he didn't get the Canelo fight, and I don't want to go over that. People can do whatever they want with that. Do whatever you want with it. But now in the Bivol sweepstakes, Bivol and his team are like, we'll fight anybody. Like, you can't call it a duck if he's fighting Beterbiev, who is a tougher fighter at 175 than Benavidez right now. Beterbiev's number 2 in the division. He's more feared. This narrative out there that Benavidez is ducked, it's just not, there's nothing there. There's nothing to it. If you want to put Canelo in that, once again, fine, do whatever you want. But Caleb Plant chased him for 5 years, and Samson openly said we marinated that fight. So you can't claim Caleb Plant ducked him. Then Bubu Andrade fought him. Even Bubu Andrade fought him. David Morrell Jr. went up a weight class to chase him. He said, I'm going up to 175 to chase Benavidez. I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm going up to 175 to chase He's not like, nobody is out there ducking him currently. And you can't call Bivol a duck for fighting the trilogy, because Beterbiev beats him, gives him a rematch. And now Bivol beats Beterbiev, so Beterbiev deserves the rematch, and let's do the trilogy. And then Benavidez can fight Callum and then wait. But even that, though, if Canelo steps in early 2026 and says, no, wait, I want my rematch with Bivol, and there's twice as much money in that fight than the Benavidez fight, that's not a duck either, because Canelo, higher on pound-for-pound rankings, face of boxing. Why would you fight Benavidez instead of Canelo? So Benavidez might be stuck in this thing. And what I'm saying is, because of this incompetent team around him, I don't think he realizes that he seems to always be the bridesmaid and not the bride.
If you, and I don't know if you were listening, but I only brought up Tiara Brown, Skye Nicholson for this reason, right? Brown was calling out Nicholson for 2 years. Right? I want to fight you. I want to fight you. Are we going to fight? Are you scared? Are you what? So finally, when Matchroom made her an offer, right? Even though she felt it was lowballed, she took it. She said, "Well, I think I'm going to beat her, so I'm going to go take it. I'm going to go take her belt in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do it because that's my shot. That's my opportunity, right? And I'll make my money after that, right? That was her logic, right? It's like the opposite with this other team. With Benavidez, it's like, no, we're not willing to do that. Benavidez, like if Samson was her advisor, he was like, no, we're not going to go to Sydney. We're not going to go to the zone. We will stay right here. And we will do it on pay-per-view or something. I don't know. Like with any other fighter, Alex, people wouldn't realize that the way they're moving and the answers they're giving and their unwillingness to concede certain things like, look, if it has to be there, I'll be there. If I need to go to Saudi to get my shot, I'll go to Saudi to get my shot, right? If that's the case, like, but I don't think, like, first of all, you don't have the strongest hand on the poker table as it is, and you're revealing your hand. That's essentially what Samson is doing. He's got like a pair of twos, and he's like, yes, this is what we have right here. We got a pair. Like, that's all you got? Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they're doing when they're saying this thing. They're not even negotiating tactics, Alex. He's not saying this to negotiate. Like, oh, we're not willing to go there. It's not like Turkey's gonna turn around, but oh no, come on, we'll offer you more money. They're not even doing that.
That's exactly right. Where's his? What's his leverage? What is his leverage here? I don't understand.
Is it a pair of two or a 3 high? Like I don't know, but it's not.
Is anybody going to believe that PBC and Samson and Benavidez have money to offer B-Ball? You said it a couple weeks ago. Do people really believe that they're going to outbid the Saudis for a fight? Does anybody believe the PBC or Samson is in that type of position financially? Nobody does. It's not believable. It's not believable that Bivol versus Benavidez is a bigger fight than Bivol better be of money-wise because the Saudis can just outbid that fight. It doesn't matter if the pay-per-views are less. It doesn't matter if that one does 45,000 out in Saudi and then the David fight does 55 because the Benavidez can't sell pay-per-views. And he's not doing great live gates. He's doing good live gates. He's not doing great ones. So that's what I'm saying is the hysteria, the marketing behind David Benavidez doesn't match reality. It just doesn't. It's not out there. It's not out there. The same thing with Tank. They're saying he did 265,000 pay-per-view buys, and you got to be really gullible and naive to believe that. It's David and Tank are in some minor league circuit right now with PBC.
But what is it, Kelly? Is this like some Stockholm syndrome or something he's going through right now? Like, why is he so loyal to people that couldn't deliver? Right? Like, you are the super middleweight. You're with PBC, right? You saw them get Plant fight. You saw Canelo came to PBC, and your advisor, the one you say you're so loyal to, didn't deliver a Canelo fight to you. He delivered it to Jamal. Jamal came closer to getting it than you did. And then he brought like Munguia and freaking Berlanga to get it over you. That's the dude that, I don't know about you, if I had an advisor, at somebody that was supposed to be looking out for me and he's doing other people favors, I would fire that advisor. I wouldn't want anything to do with him. Or at the very least, I wouldn't be so loyal to him. Right? Let me get through the super chats and then we'll let you cook. Nando Yamas with 499 super chat. Calix lid may be a, what's that mean? That's
Saudi cat.
Saudi or a Saudi cat. Okay, there we go. But he's wrong about that. Pay to Farmer 2. Great fight and necessary for Murder Hornets' continued development. Can't wait. He's got the popcorn out. Any quick thoughts on that?
Zapata Farmer 2 is a great fight. Do you think that's a great matchup? Do you think that's a great fight? And his continued development. How long is his development going to go? This pains me. I'm such a huge Zapata fan, but good Lord, man, can they take him off?
It's like the most unnecessary rematch that happened to be competitive. First time fight you ever seen.
Oh my God. And look,
it was competitive in fairness. It was
Zapata's trainers out there saying Shakur's ducking him now. I've heard it's been the opposite. I don't know what's true, what's not, but what I would tell you is this guy's got to be in a title fight next.
Yeah.
This is multiple fights and at least a year plus overdue. You're number one in all sanctioning bodies, and he's not in a title fight for another time. Good Lord.
So we're not going to agree with Nando. However, he is a hardworking man.
I'm a hard-working man.
Nando needs badly to see who's better between William Zepeda and Tevin Farmer. Come on.
Hey man, what if he's look? He's a hardworking man. What if he's having a hard time sleeping at night, and he's working like sleep deprived because he just can't?
Maybe.
He needs that question answered.
He's not thinking straight right now. He's not. It's the heat. The heat's getting to him.
All right, so shout out to Chico. All right, shout out to Drew. Thanks for that super chat. The sport washing hat is fire. When did Melanaji become a geopolitical expert? Samson almost as bad as the zoo team. Man, it's a burn.
The zoo team, the clear difference is the zoo team is at least orchestrating him and putting him in tough fights. Well, the Benavidez team is now finally, but the difference is Zoo's team went fast, and you could argue maybe too fast from a manager's standpoint. I wouldn't, because I want to see the truth as a boxing fan. I have no problem with what they're out there doing. I hope they continue to do what they're doing as a boxing fan. From a manager's standpoint, maybe you could say they're moving too fast. Benavidez's team moved them too slow, and then I think they continue to advise him incorrectly, to where it doesn't put him in the best position for big fights. You know, the correct answer to everything from Samson right now, as far as Benavidez goes, is yes. Are you willing to go to Saudi? Yes. Are you willing to fight Bivol for this amount, whatever the amount is? Yes. Yes, I am. If Bivol doesn't want to, even would you fight the loser? Better be a yes. Yes. The answer to everything should be yes right now.
Could you imagine if
instead they're adding like these disclaimers and stuff and making everything once again? The problem with Benavidez going after Canelo was it was never clear and concise. It was always one thing over here, another thing over here. It just was not clear enough for boxing fans to know, all right, this guy is really pursuing this fight. And I'm not, once again, absolving Canelo of anything, because maybe there's blame there too. But I'm saying they could have made all of these things easier for themselves. Is he willing to go to the zone? Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. I have no leverage. The answer for everything.
Yeah, but the question is, why does that question, when Samson says something, right? It's one thing to be frustrated with Samson saying it. But Calix, it's like this army of fans that pop up and are defending it to the death.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they're acting like this makes total sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those Russians got to come to America because this is where it's at. And Benavidez is a star now, and he's a pay-per-view star. He's on pay-per-view now, and like just the shit they be saying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I know Chico wants to elaborate on Paulie Malignaggi. Calix, you think Paulie Malignaggi is aware Trump got the Saudi royal family to commit $1 trillion in investment to the USA? Is that dirt money too?
Can I say one thing? As I don't want to get into politics, but the one thing I will say is what's clear to me, and I think what everybody is missing here, or most people are missing, because shout out to Lee Groves. I saw his podcast last week, and he had a gentleman on that was talking about this, and this was right on. It's what I've been saying for a couple months at least now, is the best thing to happen to USA boxing in modern boxing is going to be the Saudis coming in. And I don't understand how people are not seeing this, because there are alliances forming between the USA and Saudis. People are still stuck decades ago, all this stuff, but there are alliances forming, and they're clearly bringing new ideas and marketing American fighters in American cities. They're about to shut down Times Square. May 4th, May 3rd, whatever that is.
Cannot be cheap.
They're shutting down time, and I don't even know how do you do that security wise with all these buildings around, right? The amount of money they're pouring into
that's the type of money they put in for New Year's Eve, bro.
The amount of money they're pouring into promoting right now, Paulie versus Devin, that matchup later in the year, right? They're angling there. The amount of money they're pouring into Teofimo Lopez right now and a possible fight at the Rock in San Francisco. These sites, these unique things they're doing. The fight card that they had in LA against nobody would have put that money behind Terrence Crawford with that type of undercard. So the amount that they're investing into USA Boxing, and they're telling you that they're the figurehead of this is an American promoter, Dana White. So they're telling you we want to operate in America. This is a clear partnership, and PBC is dead for all intents and purposes. They did a handful of fights, and two of the cards were basically bankrolled by the Australians last year, and they're getting no money from Amazon Prime. So what I mean by that is PBC's dead, but the Saudis are going to throw them a lifeline. Your favorite PBC fighters, guess what they're going to be fighting? Guess who's going to be bankrolling these fights? It's going to be the Saudis. So I don't understand why all of these PBC super fans in particular are so mad at the Saudis. I saw Ring IQ say this the other day on his space. I was listening. And once again, it's something I've been saying for like a year. Besides putting on good fights, what are these dudes doing that's wrong that other promoters and managers have not been doing for decades? What exactly are they doing that's wrong? I don't understand. Oh, they're putting fights in Saudi and they don't belong there. Well, you've been putting fights in Oklahoma between a UK and an Englishman, and an Australian. You've been putting fights in Indian reservations. Okay, so once again, what are they doing different? That's wrong. Oh, they're putting fights at 6 a.m. and 6 a.m. Where? What are you talking about? Everything they're doing, other promoters have been guilty of, but they're actually giving you good fights and they're actually promoting. And people are not used to promoters actually promoting and being in front of things and actually answering questions from the media. So you can accuse Ring Magazine of being a lapdog, state-run media and all this stuff in Turkey of saying these things and silencing people. But at least Turkey's out there answering questions. At least Turkey's out there doing interviews. What about Al Heyman? Where's he? How many interviews has Al Heyman done the past 15, 20 years? How many?
Al Heyman's nowhere to be found.
He did one on Vernon Forrest.
Oh, really?
And that wasn't even on camera. That was just an article. One. So zero. You gotten zero from that guy. Steven Espinoza is his state-run media. That Steven Espinoza was his glorified press secretary for a decade. What is he doing? What is he doing that you have a problem with in particular? Besides the fact that he has a rag on his head. Let's be honest. Let's be honest about this. Besides that, what do you have a problem with? Sports washing. Okay. Like you said, D-Style, every country is guilty of something. Like you got to get over it, bro. There is something in this for America. This isn't just the Saudis bullying their way around. America is very much involved in this, and this is going to be good for American boxing. That would be my pitch to you. And stop crying. Just stop crying.
And I don't want to, in a boxing podcast, get too. Not that I'm above getting involved in politics. Well, believe me, I could talk politics, but not on the podcast. But this is just facts. If you want to condemn Saudi Arabia and whatever it is, and because they're bombing their neighbors, just wait till you find out who they buy the weapons from, right? Like, you know what I mean? And then it's going to blow your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one, right?
Yeah, we're on the same page with that for sure.
So wait till you find out about that. And wait till you find out what the United States did in the early 2000s, right? In Iraq, and then you'll be amazed that the WBC didn't put any sanctions on the United States. I wonder why. Maybe because a lot of fighters are from the U.S. and they don't want to lose any sanctioning fees.
Maybe so.
Right? Shout out to Chico. You could read this one if you want, Kelly.
Cali X don't want to get into politics, but is already sending me beachfront properties, brochures in Gaza that will be ready in 2030. Yeah, Greenland too, Drew. But Nando can't even get faded as Top Rank to put Inoue in Dodger State. Why is Inoue D-Style? Why is Inoue in Vegas?
I like how Cali's breezed through that one real quick. All right. Anyway, so
Inoue, and why is he in Vegas fighting at minus 9,000?
I'll tell you why Inoue's in Vegas. I'll tell you why. This is why.
Man, that nigga was that Japanese guy was in state.
He's in
Once
shape.
again,
Calix.
this is equal opportunity, a channel like people are gonna come here for pro whatever, right? Because I'm pro Inoue, but come on, man. Like, I understand you're fighting 3-4 times in a year, but for the America fight, this needed to be something better to get people out to Vegas,
And
because I ain't flying out there for that.
and shout out to Drew and Nando.
I'm a hard working man.
Right. So hard working there. So anyway, in a way, I mean, yeah. First of all, in a way, is a big favorite against anybody who fights Calix. I mean, just at this point, if we're
True.
honest, right?
True.
And they're not gonna do the Nakatani. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna do that in like in Tokyo or something like that. But like I don't know. You don't think?
I think they thought,
Who could he have fought? Like you know what I mean? Like
yeah, correct. But I think for America, I was envisioning something bigger. Like Nando said, I was envisioning Dodger Stadium, LA, this extravagant event. So even if I understand what you're saying. If MJ is going to be in September, that's fine. That's the fight people want to see at 122, right? And the fight's going to happen, and he's staying active. All that's good, right? But much like the Saudis have been doing, if the actual fight, if the actual matchup's not intriguing, you have to deliver something that is. And I think just putting this after the Dodger game in Vegas and then cutting away, I don't think that's good enough. I think this should have been at Dodger Stadium. People are tired of being priced out and going to Vegas and paying these absurd fees. And
you're right, man. Like they could have done it, have Otani take a picture with Otani or something like that. And what I'm interested to know is this, Calix, is I know when Manny Pacquiao would fight, especially like in his prime, like when Pacquiao was hot and selling like close to or not over 1 million pay-per-views a pop. A lot of the high rollers from Asia would show up, right? Like I wonder if you think Inoue is at that point where he could attract that, and maybe that's why it's in Vegas.
Maybe so. I don't see this though close to rivaling. What do they call it? Pac Mania, like Pacquiao Mania, like that. Remember that?
Because even Pac wasn't Pac Mania till. Yeah, part of the US. No, yeah, exactly. Like, or even, well, let's say Morales Barrera. I think those were the fights that at least a diehard fan.
But this is the difference. The difference is Inoue doesn't need the American market. So I think that's part of it is they threw money at him to come over here. So he made $43 million last year. Pacquiao wasn't making that type of money outside of America. The Japanese market is huge. So that's a market in and itself that is better than the American market because it actually functions properly. And
was Pacquiao making 7 figures before Barrera and Morales?
No, I don't think so. So you're talking about Inoue outside of America without any American backing is making $8 million in endorsements a year. And he's going to make more this year now that the Saudis are pumping in money into the Inoue machine. So he'll probably be close to 100 million this year, only fighting once in America. Just think about that. So that's how big he is outside of America. So I think that's part of it is they see that maybe we don't even really need the American market. We're just doing this for whatever reason. I don't really know. I don't know why.
Chico with another super chat. We have to be honest. Top Rank is not being run like they're serious people. The decline is obvious, and take away that ESPN budget. What are they?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yeah. What type of fights have they been putting on the past couple of years with $90 million? Think about that, $90 million budget per year, and we're getting like Navarrete versus Valdez rematch. We're getting Shock Foster versus what's his face rematch. What's your boy's name? The rematch of the fight, the robbery, the initial robbery, Shock Foster, but. Somebody in the chat.
Causin. There we go.
Yes. No. Not Causin. God, your boy who
well, he did win a robbery in the rematch.
Yeah, that was a rematch too. But what I'm saying is they're much like a Snow White remake. That's what
Put
Top
it in
Rank has
chat.
become. It's just remakes of fights they've already made, and yeah, not
Now
good
it's bothering me.
undercards.
Like,
It's a Nova. That's what
okay, there we go.
but they're
Yeah.
it just doesn't. They're not creating any stars. Shushu Carrington's fighting on Michaela Mayer's undercard in Vegas. Like nobody's going to be there. Nobody's going to be there. So I don't really understand.
Yeah, but you got to understand, Callie, he don't want to pay taxes. Taxes are high.
True.
He was going to make more, but it's the principle of it, the taxes.
Yeah.
All right. And you said, since you said his name, we got to wish Drew, happy never end.
Never end.
There we go. All right. So that's the best version of that. So we've got to put that like on. It might be a hit song.
And I need to stop rolling my R's. I need to stop.
Yeah, like you're saying it too
He'll
good
always be Navarrete to me.
Yeah, I know. All of a sudden he's like Navarrete. I'm like, what? Like, what's going on?
He'll always be Navarrete to me. He was better. When I called him Navarrete.
It's that Saudi hat that's giving you like this, I don't know, power. Did I? Yeah. There's another one. Hold on. Yeah. Mr. T. Am I missing? Check if I missed anybody else's. Big Wheel Davis and Jet Lag Yeti are the last two American hype jobs left. The Scrotum Cutlers know in their heart if they go to Saudi, they will lose. Right? And Chico, give me Chisora Dubois, IBF Mando, baby. Look, bro. This might have sounded like ridiculous a year ago, but hey, the ball's back in the mix. I'm sorry, Chisora's back in the mix, bro. This is the heavyweight division. In the heavyweight division, guys could come back, bro, like Foreman did, bro. Shout that RIP, and then they could win the heavyweight championship of the world.
By the way, I never said I've been running 100 miles an hour this week. Haven't been on Twitter or anything, but I haven't said anything about Foreman's passing. And by the way, Nando is out there saying Golden Boy is #1 in the USA now. Nando loves Golden Boy. He loves Golden Boy. I like how he does that. Like, you notice how in the chat, Nando will take little shots at other promoters and then he'll build up like Zepeda Farmer. I love what a great fight. Golden
Boy. He was setting up the traps like a boxer. He's setting up the dirty traps. Like, I got it now. Okay.
He was. But anyway, shout out George Foreman. George Foreman is one of my favorite fighters to go back and watch his fights. And I was reflecting on this the other day when I was watching footage and fights, and like George Foreman in his prime, he's in the argument for one of the baddest men to ever walk the face of the earth. Like, because this is when baddest man on the planet meant something. It was like everybody knows who the heavyweight champion is. The baddest man on the planet is the baddest man on the planet. Everybody knows who that is. It's the heavyweight champion, right? And him in his prime was that. It was, good Lord, this is George Foreman. Look at the punching power. But I was reflecting on the titans in boxing that we used to have, the giants in boxing that we used to have. The fact that Ali could go out there past his prime and go in knowing he has to fight that type of fight to beat this guy and go out there and actually execute it. And there was a clip on Twitter. I believe Nando retweeted it, reposted it onto my Twitter feed. And it's Muhammad Ali going out to face George Foreman in his prime in the locker room, actually in the hallway, walking out to the fight and saying, why does it look like a funeral here? Why are you guys around me acting like this is a funeral? They really thought that he's about to go out there and get, in boxing terms, executed. Like, this is the end. This is the end of Muhammad Ali. George Foreman is about to end this. And Muhammad Ali is lecturing them and yelling at them and saying, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat this guy. To hell with George Foreman, like that. And for him to go out and actually do it, that's why I don't hold fighters of this era in the same as those titans and those the pioneers of previous eras, because it was just a different time where guys would
It,
go
it
out.
was a different breed, and when it comes to heavyweight division, it was a different breed of athlete.
Yeah,
That's what it was. Like it's just the truth, right?
and it's when gold
The
medal.
like the sons of former heavyweight contenders are playing in the NFL.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it is what it is.
Boxing would be better with 2-3 Chisora types in every division, each era. He's like the Knicks in the 90s that couldn't beat Jordan's Bulls. Yeah. Tough fighter. Maybe can't win the big one. That's why I like the heavyweight division. And the Saudis have been, for any division, the Saudis have been great for the heavyweight division, because a guy loses, so what? Bring him back. Top fighters fight each other, and, we see they're all vulnerable. And I don't think it's a strong division, but at least it's functioning. It's functioning properly, right?
So guys, I do got to get rolling. So we're going to wrap this one up. I got to get ready for work, but quick prediction. I think Ryan versus Mayer 2 should be a good fight. Likely no paint this time, but it's gotten people's attention.
We need more paint.
I heard it has a really good undercard with very low taxes. Apparently in Vegas, like taxes are low. But I think you know what, I don't think I've ever picked against Mayer, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just a feeling. I think Ryan's going to pull it off. I thought the first fight was close, and I think she's going to pull it off this time. I'm going to go with Ryan in a very, very tight, close decision. But I think it'll go either way. Any quick prediction, Calix?
No, I'll go with that. But who do you think is going to win the Williams-Zepeda fight?
Williams-Zepeda.
Me too.
And if he doesn't win,
I think it's going to be a stoppage.
I think he'll get the stop. It's like
it's not a great fight.
And then Calix had finally just kind of, Nando could finally just like know who's better and just chill, and then Nando finally get some sleep. Nando will sleep over it. Finally, we'll know. It will be on the great, amazing Golden Boy card. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
there you go. So with that said, guys, we appreciate everybody that tuned in. This is D-Style, and we're out of here. Peace.
God bless.
You've reached the No Fanboy Zone. You've reached the No Fanboy Zone.
It's ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat your children. Crazy to my law.
It's gonna prove who the best fighter in the world is. It's gonna prove who the best fighter in the world is. It's gonna prove who the best fighter in the world is.
You've reached the No Fanboy Zone.